Welcome back. Well, as promised, let's get chatting with the management of IMFA. Yesterday, they declared their set of numbers, and the street at first look read it as a bit of a negative surprise because the margins appear to have come in at around 15%. However, they've declared their calculated EBITDA margins on the exchanges yesterday, post market close, and in fact, the numbers look pretty much okay then. Mr. Subhrakant Panda, the managing director of IMFA, joins us on the show. Hi, sir. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Well, a little bit of a confusing scenario played out last afternoon because of these numbers. Everyone was wondering, ferrochrome prices are moving up, chrome ore is moving up, but how come the margins were a little bit subdued? So, you came out with your release and post-market hours, and that gives us some clarity. But I wanted you to clarify to us how much of the hit in the past quarter was one-off. It could be some kind of impact with regard to the Utkal coal. It could be a maintenance activity as well. So what could that number be?
Good morning, Nigel. Always a pleasure to be on your show. And, let me first start out by mentioning that actually FY24 was a very, very satisfying year because in terms of operations, we set operational record in every single area, be it ferrochrome production, chrome ore raising or power generation. And in terms of the financial numbers, it was the second best in the company's history. So overall, we're very satisfied. But yes, one of the events which happened during this quarter was certain accounting entries which were required consequent to the compensation order being declared for Utkal coal, which is the subsidiary, and as you know, the coal block which it held, which was cancelled, and we're entitled to compensation on that front. So on the standalone numbers, the jump that you see from about 700 crores to 930 crores, basically that includes income recognition on a loan which had been extended to Utkal coal by IMFA. And since there was no payments being made, we had not recognized that interest. But now that there is certainty about about collection of compensation pertaining to Utkal coal, so the interest of about 221 crores, which has been recognized in IMFA's standalone results. And so the operational turnover, excluding this one-time interest recognition, is about 700 crores. So therefore, the EBITDA margin, which came in at about 135 crores for the quarter, roughly works out to 19.5%, which is in line with what we had mentioned earlier and something that we're quite satisfied about. Similarly, in terms of other income, lot of there were set-offs of impairment of investment, etc. So broadly, the interest recognition and the investment impairment, etc., cancel each other out. So these are all accounting entries. Now, in addition to that, something else that we had indicated, if you look at quarter on quarter, there is a slight decline in the profitability, and that is both on account of ferrochrome prices having cooled off slightly for Q4 of FY24, and we also had certain one-time, one-off major repairs and maintenance for which the furnaces were shut for about, two furnaces were shut for about a week or in fact a little bit more. And we had to recognize certain expenditure incurred in that regard. So taking that out, I would say that we are in a very comfortable zone. We continue to have a strong balance sheet. The net worth of the company has crossed 2,000 crores during the financial year under review. And, I think we are quite well placed to execute on our expansion plans.
Got it. So the past quarter's numbers were hit by a couple of one-offs, which included that compensation for Utkal, as well as some maintenance activities as well. So that's about the past, but the street wants to know the way ahead. So let's focus on that. Ferrochrome prices were a little bit subdued, and as per our calculations, going by the volumes and the sales number, it was approximately 102,000 to 103,000 for the past quarter. But we are looking at the global trends, and it appears that ferrochrome prices have spiked up. So for the next two quarters, that's quarter one and quarter two, what is the average realization? Because some of these contracts will get locked in.
So our contracts, as you know, are in some cases locked in for a quarter. And for the Chinese market, the little tonnage that we sell is priced every month. But broadly, if you look at that for Q4 FY24, our average realization, like you said, was roughly about 102,000 or so. Going ahead for the ongoing quarter, we expect prices to be higher by about 3,000 to 4,000 tons, if not 3,000 to 4,000 rupees a ton, if not a little bit more. So broadly, I would say for the first half of the year, and as you know, we don't really go beyond predicting 2 quarters at a time. But for the first half of the year, for each of the quarters, I would comfortably predict an EBITDA higher than 150 crores. And so that will certainly see us improve our performance sequentially. And of course, the big jump will come a year and a half or so from now, when we actually are able to commission our expansion projects.
Right, we take that point. For the next 3 quarters, you would have EBITDA of upwards of 150 crore per quarter. So the remainder of this year, you would have around 450 crores of EBITDA. I just wanted to understand how much of the increase will actually flow through to the EBITDA. What's the kind of EBITDA per ton target that you have for this year?
So look, I mean, as you know, the ferrochrome is somewhat cyclical and tends to be volatile. The advantage for us, of course, is that we have captive chrome ore, which means that we are shielded from the most egregious impact of raw material price increases. But that being said, we do the margins are contract or expand basis not just price increases, but where also raw material prices stand. And from that perspective, we are seeing metallurgical coke prices come down a little bit. We would expect EBITDA margins to be around the 20% margin, or a little bit more than that, in fact. And if you look at FY24 for the full financial year, the EBITDA clocked in at about 23%, which is squarely in the middle of our projections.
All right, Mr. Panda, are you being conservative? Because as you said, the margins in the past year were around 23%. Now you're saying 20% plus. And 150 crores, well, you have been doing that as well. So for the year, going by current prices, the way the shortage of chrome ore, I'm looking at a couple of producers globally as well. Some of them are not converting it into ferrochrome. They're selling the ore directly because that's giving you a better margin. The viability is not there. So what kind of a year could we look at in terms of EBITDA? For the past year, you have done close to 600 crores. Now, this year will be better at current prices, at current RM cost as well. So should be working with a number of close to around 650 to 700 crores for the year at least?
So, Nigel, the first point, and absolutely, yes, I strongly believe in being, in under-committing and over-performing rather than the other way around. And keep in mind that, this is our best case forecast at the moment. And of course, this is not a forward guidance in the true sense, because you don't know how things can pan out. But that is why we end up quoting a number which we are, very, very confident about achieving, barring extremely unforeseen circumstances, which I don't think are on the anvil. So that being said, the EBITDA for the full year FY24 was 650. And in the first half of the ongoing fiscal, we expect to cross 300 for sure. And, and let's see where that takes us. But you are absolutely right that the fundamentals of the ferrochrome industry are such that, more and more ferrochrome production is taking place in China, which is a relatively high cost producer. And that acts as a ceiling, as a floor on prices. And a floor at a level which gives us a fairly healthy EBITDA margin. So yes, I am quite sanguine about the year ahead, but I think it is prudent for us to look at the first half of the year, give a number which we are very confident of achieving, and see how much better that we can do beyond that.
Under promise and over deliver. We take that point, Mr. Panda. This is something that we keep asking you every quarter, and that's about Utkal C. And the smile on your face says that you've anticipated this question this time around. So let's twist that. How much the money is pending? Is there risk to that? Because I presume there was some 220 crore which is remaining. When do you get that? And yeah, go ahead.
So, what we have received at the moment is 131 crores. And in fact, out of that, we have paid out some special dividend as well to reward shareholders. What is pending on account of land is 221 odd crores to be precise. And of course, there is a valuation of mines infrastructure, which is yet to be done. That we expect to be in the 18 to 20 crore range. Now, we are certainly expecting this money to be released sooner rather than later, because in as much as, the new LOT is concerned, they had sought a stay in the tribunal, which has not been granted, and they have thereafter deposited the money with the nominated authority. So we do expect it to come. in as much as whether there is any risk to that number is concerned. Look, I mean, the new LOT has raised certain questions as to the valuation number. We are very confident about it, and in fact, in our counterclaim, the difference between
Mr. Panda, short point seems like there's a bit of a tug-of war. When you say sooner rather than later, the question is when? Is it this year? Is it in the next couple of quarters, or is that an FY25 story? Because as precedent has it, you give out all of this money to all the shareholders as dividends. So whenever that money comes, everyone will be keeping an eye out on it. When?
So look, I don't want to jinx it by giving a specific deadline, but certainly sooner rather than later, because the money has been deposited with the nominated authority, and there is no legal stay or there is no stay given by any court on that being paid out. So we certainly expect it to come soon. Now, in as much as payout is concerned, we clearly look at rewarding our shareholders through a combination of dividend, which is from income out of operations, and the special dividend was on account of this long pending compensation which came our way. So from 130 odd crores which came in the first lot, we declared 150% special dividend, which works out to about 80 crores cumulatively. And let the balance money come in, and of course I would not the one thing I can commit is that we will reward shareholders, but the extent is the prerogative of the board, and it would not be appropriate for me to quote a number.
Very quickly, Mr. Panda, by FY26 your capacity expansion will come on stream, some part of FY26. So for FY27 at current reckoning plus your ethanol profitability, should IMFA look like an EBITDA of around 900-950 crores at current reckoning? Keeping in mind ethanol, there will be some profitability that will come in 30-40 crores on, as well as the increased capacity. FY27 looks like around 900-950 crores?
Look, FY27 is something that is very far away so it's not, I would find it a little difficult to give numbers at this point in time. In as much as the expansion is concerned, we are expecting to have the entire capacity online by middle of 2026. So we will have the entire capacity available for most of FY27. A quick update on the project: we have received environmental clearance. It has been recommended, so we should be getting it any day now. And clearly we have slipped a little bit in our timelines, which is something that I had indicated earlier. And now with monsoon setting in, what we would look to do is to start construction, by about September, October, and that's when we look to commission between April to June 2026. By then, the ethanol project should also come up, and as I've always mentioned, that is a small sort of a digression, if I can put it that way, which utilizes a surplus land and capacity. It is value accretive, but not something which takes up a lot of management time or equity investment. So yes, I think we will we will climb to new peaks by the time FY27 comes around. All else, holding the same.
All right, Mr. Panda, thanks a lot for joining and clarifying on all those points. We wish you well. Look forward to having a chat with you during the course of the year.